There is a very old idea, older than most religions, that to write something down is to make it real. That words on a page have weight. That a name written in ink carries something of the person it belongs to. Most people think of that as metaphor. Sara found a journal in a used bookshop on a Tuesday afternoon in November. Blank pages. Old leather cover. She bought it because she liked the smell of old paper and because it was $3 and because she had always meant to start writing things down. She opened it that evening to write her first entry. Someone had already been writing about her for years. The shop was the kind that smells like dust and time, narrow aisles, shelves floor to ceiling, a hand-painted sign above the door that said second chapter. The old man behind the counter barely looked up when Sara came in. She found the journal in a box of miscellaneous items near the back. No price sticker. She brought it to the counter. The old man looked at it for a moment, just a moment, and said $3 without touching it. Sara asked if he knew where it had come from. He said he didn't remember. She asked how old it was. He picked it up then, turned it over once, set it back down. Old enough, he said. And then, as she was paying, don't read it before bed. She laughed. He didn't. She read it before bed. The first page was dated 3 years ago. November the 4th. The handwriting was neat, small, slightly slanted to the left. It read, Sara woke at 7:22 today. She made coffee before she checked her phone, which she almost never does. She stood at the kitchen window for 11 minutes watching the street. She was thinking about her mother, though she wouldn't have said so if you asked. She has a habit of pressing her thumb into the center of her left palm when she's anxious. She doesn't know she does it. She did it 4 times this morning. Sara set the journal down. She had woken at 7:22 that morning. She had made coffee first. She had stood at the kitchen window. Her mother had died 14 months ago and she thought about her every single day and told no one. She looked at her left palm. There was a faint red mark in the center where her thumbnail had been pressing, without her noticing, since she'd started reading. She read for 3 hours that night. Every entry was the same, a precise, quiet account of a single day in her life. Written in third person, as if by a patient observer who had been watching her from somewhere she couldn't see. Every entry correct. Every detail exact. The day she got the promotion. The exact words she said when she called her sister. The afternoon she sat on the bathroom floor and cried for 40 minutes and told no one. The night she almost called an old number she had memorized but hadn't dialed in 2 years, and didn't. The author even noted that she hadn't, with something that felt, disturbingly, like approval. 3 years of her life, documented without a single error, in a journal she had never seen before and which had been sitting in a secondhand shop box for, she didn't know how long. And then she reached the entry for today. For this exact day. For the evening she was currently living. It read, she found it tonight. She is reading it right now. She has just reached this page. She is sitting very still. She is pressing her thumb into her palm and she does not know it. Sara looked down at her hand. She was. She turned the page. She told herself she wouldn't. She turned it anyway. The next entry was dated tomorrow. She read it with her heart knocking against her ribs. It described her morning in exact detail, what she would eat for breakfast, a phone call she would receive at 11:15 a.m., an argument she would almost have with a colleague but wouldn't quite finish. She read it 3 times. Then she closed the journal. Then she opened it again to the last written page, not tomorrow's, but the very last one. The final entry. It was dated 4 months from now. February the 9th. The entry was 2 sentences. She stopped reading on February 9th. That is the day the author stops needing to watch from the outside. Below that, the rest of the pages were blank. All of them except the very last page. On the very last page, in different handwriting, shakier, rushed, as if written in a hurry or in the dark, were 4 words, do not reach it. She tested it. The next morning she deliberately did everything differently. She didn't eat what the journal said. She ignored the phone at 11:15. She drove a different route to work. She was going to prove it wrong. That evening she opened the journal to the previous day's entry, yesterday, the day she had tried to break, and read it. It had updated. Every detail was correct. Every change she had made was there, noted calmly, without surprise. There was even a line, and this is the part that made her put the journal in the highest cupboard in her kitchen and not touch it for 6 days, a line that read, "She tried to change the story today. This is noted. It changes nothing. The author has written every version of this day and all of them end the same way." She is beginning to understand that the book does not predict her life. It contains it. February 9th came. She had spent 4 months trying not to think about it. She had not opened the journal since the cupboard. She had told herself 100 times that she was done with it. She was not done with it. She took it down that morning. She told herself she just wanted to see. She opened to February 9th. The entry read, "Today she opens the journal for the last time. Today she reads to the final page. Today she reads the 4 words at the back, the warning she has already read, and today, for the first time, she turns past them. She turns to the page after the last page, the page that should not be there." Sarah's hands were shaking. She flipped to the back of the journal. The last page. The 4 words. "Do not reach it." She had read them. She had already read them. She had already reached it. She turned past them. There was one more page. It had not been there before. She was certain of that. The page was blank except for a single line in the neat, small, left slanting handwriting of the author, "Hello, Sara. I have been waiting a very long time to introduce myself." The lamp went out. Sara does not remember what happened next. She says there is nothing to remember, that the next thing she knew it was morning and she was in bed and the journal was on the nightstand, closed. She says she feels fine. She says nothing has changed. But her handwriting has. Just slightly. Just enough that her sister mentioned it last week. It slants to the left now. 8. Sara is still writing in the journal. Every day. She says she just finds it comforting, putting her thoughts down. Organizing herself. She says she doesn't know why she never did it before. Her sister says the entries are beautiful. Precise. Detailed in a way that Sara never was before, noting small things, quiet things. The exact time she woke up. How many minutes she spent at the window. The thoughts she had that she didn't say out loud. I asked Sara if I could read one of the entries. She smiled, a small, patient smile, and said, "Not yet. I'm still writing yours." I haven't gone back to talk to her again. But I have been thinking about writing lately. The urge to pick up a pen. To put things down on paper. To keep a record of the small details of each day. I've been thinking about it more and more. Sleep well. And if you find a blank journal somewhere, maybe leave it where you found it. Some stories don't need a new reader. Some stories are already reading you.